Hi everyone, thanks for checking out our second podcast here at Lighthouse Therapy Group. I really hope you've enjoyed the first one. Hopefully it's the first of many to come, covering many different subjects about what people want to hear. Again, the whole idea of these podcasts is to make mental health real. So if we upset anybody or offend anybody with any language or any thoughts, it is not our intention, and I do apologise in advance, but we are going to be real. This week, we're really thrilled to welcome Joey.
Hello.
He's a PT. I've known Joey now for a couple of years.
Yeah, 2017, I think.
Was that when I started the gym?
Possibly longer.
Yeah, I didn't go the whole of 2018, did I?
That was a good.
Yeah. But no, Joey's a very good friend of mine. He's a PT at Washington Gym. He does some fantastic stuff. He helps a lot of people, and I'm really thrilled to have him on board for our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mark.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
So, one thing I also want to do with these podcasts is allow people to kind of represent and introduce themselves. So do you want to start by just telling us a bit about you, who you are, what kind of things you do, and we'll go from there.
I'm Joey Taylor, obviously personal trainer at Washington Leisure Centre. I think I started in 2016. I think it's been a while now. It's been all my life there, really. But I do a few things there. By day, I'm a fitness motivator.
Yeah.
Coolest job title.
The motivator.
I haven't got the spandex. Motivator. But it's basically just like primarily I'm on the gym floor. Yeah. Just making sure that everyone's having I want to say good time, but I don't think you ever have a good time in the gym. No. But it's just making sure that everyone's sound, everyone's, safe. But yeah, I do like inductions, boot camps and stuff. And I think more recently, I've focused mostly on personal training.
Right.
Which is basically that, but it's in more of like a one-on-one sort of format. So it's obviously like tailor-made. We get people's like measurements.
Right.
And just pretty much guide them through the fitness journey. Yeah. If you like, I think that's what the hashtag is. Fitness journey.
Fitness journey. I love that word journey. Yeah, it's one of the counsellor's favourite words, journey. It might be. Yeah.
But yeah, so I've mostly started to kind of dabble in a bit of both. Obviously, it's kind of self-serving. You can kind of do a bit of both. But it's probably the most rewarding job.
Rewarding.
Yeah. It's like it's creative, it's challenging. Yeah. And it's really people focused. So it's probably in a way quite similar to what you do. Yeah. You meet people, you kind of learn the goals, where they want to be, and you help them almost get like steps towards sort of where they want to be.
Well, you're certainly quite popular in there. In the gym.
I think might be the word.
No, popular. We want to stick with popular. Okay. Yeah, but like I say, you've helped me quite a lot on my physical journey. Even just a friendly way, you kind of have a chat and just a little bit of guidance, which is often what a lot of people actually need, just a little bit of guidance.
I mean, I started the gym a good few years ago now. I think it was probably about 2011. Yeah. And I think when I first started, it was very scary. Yeah, because at the time it was a council gym. I don't know if you ever went to the old one.
Oh, I went to the old one. Yeah.
Dropping to bits by the end.
Oh, was it ever?
It was council, so it wasn't like a big sort of trendy company like Everyone Active as it is now. And I think it was quite like there wasn't any personal trainers as such. They would rather just have somebody like on the gym floor and mostly like I think we call them like a GP referral. Yeah, and they would only really see you if you had some sort of like physiological need.
Right.
To be shown stuff, which is obviously, fair enough. But they didn't really have like anybody to show you about.
Right.
So I think when I joined, I was sort of like, ooh, it's super daunting as you'll probably remember yourself. But I think I kind of wanted to be like the antithesis of that when somebody joins the gym. Yeah. I wanted to make certain, like my job, I wanted to be dead set in stone that these people are sound and that they don't need any help and that...
Wow.
They're comfortable to be there.
So it's a lot more personal touch.
That's what I wanted to
Actual kind of meeting people and actually being there for them rather than just as a member.
It, Yeah. You'll know yourself that there's like, it's like a social group there, especially among the older people. And they kind of just really go there to socialize. The exercise itself, it's a big part of it, but it's almost like a second thought, They want to just like see like, oh, I wonder what he's doing today, or I wonder what, I mean, Lindsay. She's even more famous.
Oh, damn, she's doing well there. That's my fiance, who's a regular member at the gym. But no, I remember you were actually a big help for her right at the beginning of her journey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she kind of, and I always remember when she first came home, she kept talking about this Joy. And I was like, well, who else is Joy that you're going away with and all this sort of stuff to the gym? And then when I first started going, because she went before me, and then she says, oh, that's Joy over there. I'm like, really? And of course, there's this kind of well-ripped young individual, and and there's me kind of still carrying me winter hibernation pattern.
You know?
But no, you're really doing great stuff over there. I love seeing on all the social media and your Facebook and all that, the group mentality that you've got. Because it really is important to remember that even though, the importance to our physical being, that kind of, fitness gives us, it's also the kind of the benefits it has to our mental health and the group dynamics that it creates.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't imagine you've ever struggled that much with it, with doing what you do. But do you ever find that exercise has sort of impacted your mental health at all?
Oh, without a shot of a doubt, yeah. But it's even recent. I mean, it's only the past couple of weeks I've really been getting back to the gym, and I've started eating healthy, and I'm getting back to the gym, and I'm feeling great. I really am feeling totally different compared to what I was 2 months ago.
Excellent.
I'm feeling awake. Yeah, awake. That's a good word, isn't it? But I mean, in the morning, bless her, Lindsay has to drag me to the gym. The alarm goes off at sort of, 5:30, and then it's kind of 6:30 we'll leave to go to the gym on the morning. She has to drag me out of bed, and I'm not a morning person.
She's an early bird.
Yeah, and she's learning now, though, that just leave us alone in the morning. Don't talk to us. When we get there, that I'll start waking up, but I have that added problem as well that we actually take my mother-in-law. So we'll pick her up, and she starts talking. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, just everybody be quiet, man.
Yeah.
But then when I kind of do my workout, and I mean, you'll see me, I've always got my headphones on. But then when we leave the gym and you get hit by that kind of crisp air.
Yeah.
And it's quite a refreshing feeling, because it actually takes me back. Initially, when I walk out the gym, I'm actually kind of transported back to the days when I was in training for the Royal Navy. When I was only 17. Even though they weren't that great at times.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, looking at it, it's actually back then one thing I did feel that I did experience was being alive. So when I'm actually leaving the gym and I've had a good little sweat and I've done some good.
It's that rush of endorphins.
Yeah.
Once you've had a good session, it's like
I'm actually feeling alive. So it's really.
It's a good word for it, actually, alive. Yeah.
I'll let you use that one if you want. you get a hashtag there out of that one. But what made you sort of think about getting into physical training and everything?
It's funny, man, because I remember when I was a kid, I used to skip PE every single week.
Yeah?
Yeah. I used to get my mum to write me a note. I used to have a whole lexicon of various excuses, nosebleed, and I just never went.
Yeah.
I used to you can't do it now because it's a health and safety nightmare, but you remember the big wooden apparatus?
Oh, yes,
you can't do those now. But I used to love those. But yeah, it was just cross country, and my PE teacher was great. It's just, I think the kind of curriculum was just it was just remixes of rounders, passion.
Yeah.
Being told by my school, at least anyway. One day it was rounders with a baseball bat. One day it was rounders with a football.
Yeah.
It's just mate, I've done
we've done it. Yeah.
Take that off.
Yeah.
And it was just that, or cross country. And to this day, as a PT, I probably shouldn't say, but I hate running.
Oh.
Not stand running.
I can't do it.
Yeah. So it's just, I never really enjoyed PE. So it just seems backwards to me now. That, fast forward 16 years. I'm basically an adult PE teacher.
Wow.
But I think it was probably in my teenage years. I think it was more I think it was about 17, 18. I actually had a stint with anorexia.
All right.
Which is kind of why, I wanted to sort of do this.
Yeah.
I never really know what started it, which is kind of a weird thing, because you can normally pinpoint, traumatic events.
Yeah.
But I just remember one day, I think I was probably about the last year in school. And I remember one day I thought I'm a bit chubby. I'm going to skip my bar of Snickers at my mother corner today. And the next thing I know, I kind of woke up when I was 19 and I was in a hospital bed.
Wow.
And then the doctor literally said, if you skip one more meal, you'll be dead.
Wow.
In no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
So I think from that, it was just like, I think from there, I went to the GP and they just gave me, kind of going back to what I said before, it was the GP referral.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people who did need to be, show at the gym. And they basically said you just need to build up more muscle, because I think at the time I was at risk of osteoporosis, like brittle bones and stuff, just from malnutrition mostly. And yeah, they just says like, you're going to have to start going to the gym.
Yeah.
And at the time, obviously, with this kid who still probably hated PE even more, because I was about 6'2".
Wow.
I'm like 14 now, so it's like over double the weight I was. But yeah, I went to the gym and I started just kind of enjoying myself. I got to that alive feeling. He said, oh, you know, you have a good workout and you just feel great.
Excellent.
And I think from there, like, you almost see the, like, it's almost cliched sort of personal training. It's like, I was fat and then I lost all the weight and now I'm a PT, and that's great. You know, that's the journey. But I thought I almost had this like unique perspective where I could be like, well, I went from like painfully skinny to like someone who's a bit more able-bodied and a bit more aware of the potential of like eating disorders. Yeah. Because just what we were saying before the podcast, that I think like, not eating disorders as such, but I think a lot of mental problems or mental illnesses, whatever you want to call it, they're a lot more like in the public eye. Yeah, very much so. You know, and I think I kind of not used it, but I could have like sort of surfed off that wave. Yeah. To be like, look, like if you've got an eating disorder, there is, you know, help available. Absolutely. So yeah, like I say, I would say, I think it was probably about 10 years ago. Yeah. So yeah. So we're kind of coming to a, well, I won't say the peak of your journey, because I think you've still got a long way to go yet. Well, I hope so. Yeah. But you mentioned just there, you're talking about before you knew of any traumatic events. I mean, obviously, we discussed it before we start. I don't, want you to disclose anything that you don't want to disclose. No. But did you find any therapy that worked? Did you discover any traumatic events that might have kind of... Well, honestly, I think one of the biggest misconceptions of anorexia is the effect that it has on your memory. Yeah. And my missus hates my memory. Yeah. I remember stupid stuff from like years ago, but like when it's like something important, like something I said, and I totally forgot. So I think through that, a lot of the actual rehabilitation, if you like, from the anorexia, it's just kind of a blur. Yeah. I went to this place in Sunderland, and I'll probably imagine it be funded by the Sunderland Council. You might know, actually, the Barnes unit. It was, I don't know Barnes. I don't know if you do, but basically it was like, I don't even know that place, but anyway, it was a really, really small kind of, it's like a clinic. Yeah, basically. A unit, and I just went through there. There's this guy called Tony, and I forget the woman's name. But I've been trying to search him on Facebook. Yeah. And looking for Barnes unit on worldwide Google. It just brings up lots of, wild goose chases. I can imagine. But yeah, they just kind of taught us, obviously, like the importance of like nutrition. And I think with us being so young and effectively having like my whole life ahead of us, that sort of made us realize the impact of my actions. Yeah. But it was but obviously, like, I can't really remember what they sort of did. And like I said, they didn't like reawaken any like singular event. That's probably made us think, well, shit, I'm going to go down to 60. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of stuff at the time. I think it was possibly like, I think I was starting college, and I kind of had that initial, what am I going to do with my life? Wow. 2 minutes ago, you were in school and you were just like sort of hanging out with your mates, thinking about like playing Call of Duty after school. And then the next thing, it's like, right, cool. So the next day you're going to go to college and decide what you want to do when you're 46 years old. You're like... Yeah. And then there's people who stood above you saying, don't mess this up. Yeah. These are the most important years. Yeah, that's the thing. And you don't know what you want to do. And because I think when you're like, even when you're in your 20s, I think you still change. Absolutely. So much. A 16-year-old me is certainly not me now. Yeah. And if you told me back then, you're going to be a personal trainer, I would have laughed you out of the room. I wouldn't have believed it for a second. So I actually wanted to be an illustrator. Right. Which is totally, 180 for me now. But I think it was all that stress of like what you're going to do with your life, coupled with my parents' divorce at the time. Yeah. And just that sort of like shift of friend groups from like sort of school and college. Everyone's sort of finding themselves, and everyone's in this like tumultuous like period of finding themselves.
I think that you're really onto something there, the whole idea of finding themselves, because it is such a fundamental age. And of course, there's so much work going on around kind of any eating disorders. And a lot of the kind of older ideas kind of think of around sort of psychodynamic terms or anything, trauma as a child or any loss or grief. But it's really starting to come to light now, the kind of importance of existential thinking, kind of around, all these kind of issues. And you mentioned there a couple of times, finding yourself, that these are real big existential questions. And when we're going through them fundamental years of development, it's kind of, you can understand why some people might kind of struggle or find maladaptive coping mechanisms 100%. To deal with these issues.
I think it's a question of control, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The control.
Without going into like drinking or something like extreme, you just think, well, cool, like I'm kind of like unhappy with how I look.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have less calories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And at the time, I think, certainly in 2008, it wasn't so much of a big deal. I found since then, the fitness industry is on a huge like boom.
Yeah.
You think back in the day and like, even nowadays rappers are like selling fitness brands and talking about like, how in good shape they are and stuff. And certainly back at the time, that was when the Atkins diet was around. And that was effectively like, starve yourself. And obviously I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But even stuff like Beyonce, I think she famously had that like honey and an apple a day sort of diet. Right. Remember that? It was all over the place.
There's been so many bizarre ones.
That's 100%. So I think just through this, I thought like, well, cool. Like I'm just going to like go on my own sort of like crash diet and just not eat so much. I mean, I was always quite a chubby kid.
Yeah.
So I think maybe if I thought, well, if I looked a bit more attractive or something, then maybe I'll find something, I don't know. It's a weird thought, but I mean, I think it's because it's almost like recalling a dream.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like a mindset that you once had like long ago. It's trying to get back in those shoes and obviously they don't fit anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it was such a weird time. So I thought maybe like, I feel a bit out of control in my life now. There's food. I've obviously got some kind of unhappy relationship with it because I was always quite chubby anyway. So I thought, cool, I can control this. And then ironically lost control of that. And, before you know it, you're on this kind of whirlwind.
Yeah. I mean, I had a quick check on there because obviously in my profession, we've got to constantly kind of keep track of what's going on and developments within, different fields and whatnot.
Sure.
And I looked, it's funny enough, it was a couple of weeks ago, I looked up eating disorders on the NHS. And again, people might have a misconception about me with the NHS because I'm quite critical of it. I'm quite critical. That doesn't mean I don't think that people within the NHS are wrong or bad. I think they're amazing people. I just think that when it comes to mental health within the NHS, it's heavily flawed. And I looked at eating disorders, and one of the kind of recommendations within the NICE guidelines is CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. But then I was like, well, that doesn't kind of seem right for me. So I kind of looked deeper. And I looked at other research articles, and it shows actually that people with eating disorders often feel distressed because the CBT model kind of imposes anxiety. So it kind of says to people who have eating disorders, you have to kind of look at the way you eat. You have to see that this is wrong. So therefore, if we change how we look at it, would change how we feel and how we behave. But what was happening was causing a lot of anxiety. When really, if we look at it from a different angle, say the existential angle, actually just be there for the person. Look at why they want to control, look at the bigger life issues, and then everything else should hopefully fall in place.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no kind of expert around eating disorders and all that, but I do find a lot of issues actually come down the very root to existential issues.
Absolutely. I mean, have you ever dealt with anybody with a similar like sort of condition, or?
I've actually had clients who have come with borderline eating issues, and I think for me personally as a counsellor, anybody with real extreme eating disorders, I might kind of look for somewhere to kind of signpost them for more specialist help. But certainly I've had a few clients who have been borderline with worked around issues of, well, why are they feeling that they need to control their eating?
Yeah.
Why are they doing this? Rather than actually looking at the actual eating disorder itself, look at the issues underlying it.
Like sort of take a step back.
Yeah,
And look at the
look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Look at their whole life, where they want to go with the life, what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that's creating this issue? And if we address that, then I believe that maybe we can actually, the issue itself will just kind of dissolve. But like I say, I'm no expert, but I feel it's the same with any kind of other addiction or anything like that. You know, when we look at addictions or anything that we feel that we have to do, look at the underlying issues of why we're doing that. Really address them issues rather than just the actual issue itself.
Well, they probably are quite parallels, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because you find instead of like saying anorexic's need for control, you've also maybe got like the alcoholic's desire to like escape or hide from something that's, you know, also a problem in their life.
Exactly. And is there anything more powerful to hide from than life?
That's it.
You know, like you say yourself, you know, when you're growing up and you get into your latter teen years, when you're meant to be starting college or university, and then you get told, right, well, you've got to find something that you want to do. You've got to make a decision because this is going to inform your whole life.
That's it.
And if you think of a kind of young adult, you go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's friggin' terrifying.
It's just the repercussions of the wrong choice, isn't it, you know?
Yeah. But then it becomes the same when we're getting to adulthood.
Yeah.
They say, well, okay, well, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to live in this certain way. That's terrifying. You know, and if you think of somebody stuck in a job that they have no fulfillment from.
Yeah, of course.
You know, they're kind of like, they're going in day in, day out, well, is this it? You know, this is my life. So they kind of hide away from it. They might turn to alcohol, they might turn to drugs.
Yeah. Liven it up a bit.
Yeah. Or like you say, escape.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, it might take them to some kind of different reality where it's actually a little bit better than kind of the humdrum of the work that they've got. Yeah.
That's it, man. It's crazy though, because I think obviously it is just the same, you know, like compulsion to like hide or, you know, sort of alter it in a sort of way.
Yeah.
But so do you find a lot of like those problems could be like solved with like taking a step back and observing it from like an existential sort of point of view?
I believe so. I mean, that there'll be practitioners out there that'll disagree with this, and there's probably a lot of evidence to go against what I say, but this is just my view. And that's one of the reasons why I want to do these podcasts, because it is just a view. You know, that there's much evidence to show other things, but why not? You know, if something's happening, if somebody's acting in a certain way or somebody's unfulfilled in their life, let's not look at the issue. Let's look at their life.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that old term, I use it a lot. You know, people say, oh, I'm going to go home and kick the cat. You know, the poor cat's done fuck all wrong. It's just like, Have you ever heard go home and kick the cat? But the cat, basically, it's just curled up in front of the fire at home. You know, there's some bloke, he's working in a job he hates. He's getting grief off his boss. He doesn't get on with any of his colleagues, and he's got no ambition or future.
That's it.
So he's feeling, well, this is shit, and he has to take it all day. All day he's taking this rubbish, and he's just fed up. And then he gets home and sees his cat curled up on the rug. And of course, he can't vent all this anger at work because his job is dependent upon it. So he gets home and he displaces that anger, kicks the cat.
That's it.
But why not look at the whole picture of your life? If people come in, and often people come in to counselling, they're like, well, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling anxious. Initially, I think society has got us in a way that we need to treat depression and anxiety as an object form.
Yeah.
Well, why? Go beyond the depression, anxiety. Actually look at the bigger issues of what's going on in an individual's life. Are you happy within your relationships? Are you happy within your work? Are you happy within your friendships? Are you following your life direction? Do you have authorship of your life? Big questions.
That's a good phrase.
Yeah.
I like that.
But these are the big questions I feel that we're, as a society, we've kind of lost track of.
Yeah. Do you think that's a big root of a lot of that? Because I often find that like recently in the past sort of 5 or 10 years or so, that anxiety is like such a it's not like a buzzword, but it seems to be a lot on everybody's lips more than it used to be.
So it's quite fashionable, isn't it?
In a way. But do you think that stems from like unfulfillment and like almost resentment?
Yeah.
People's everyday life?
Yeah. Especially the way my practice is going a lot in the minute. I'm reading a great book at the moment by a bloke called Johann Hari. And it's called Lost Connections. And he's looking at the kind of how the social impact of today is affecting our mental health and how it's creating the depression and anxiety that we're facing as a society. And I do think it's the bigger issues within society having a real effect upon us.
Do you think it's more because we're more like online now with like smartphones and texting more?
Yeah. We're desperate to connect, but I think we're connecting in the wrong ways. And that's one of the things that, my not-for-profit organisation is hoping to address. I believe that a lot of the mental health issues that we're confronted with is from becoming disconnected with each other.
Yeah.
We're becoming disconnected with nature, and we're becoming disconnected with ourselves. So if we address them, naturally we're going to feel a lot more fulfilled.
That's it.
And he says in his book that, there's much research showing that simply by going out and doing a bit gardening is actually 75% more effective than antidepressants.
There's something about like being in nature, isn't there? I don't know if it's just like the effect of like the sun's vitamin D or something. But I found a few summers ago, I don't know if you've ever been to Princess Anne Park.
Yeah.
It's literally just behind where I work at Washington Leisure Centre. And on a summer's day, it's great. You've got this like huge, it's almost like a jungle in some way, you've got these like streams, you've got all this, and I don't know why, like I felt so much like just peace after just walking, only 20 minutes, just through this little place, it's only a small walk, park in the middle of nowhere, but just being out there, man, it's just
it just sounds like you were connecting with nature.
That's it.
And it's as simple as that.
People need to do that more.
Yeah, and can you imagine kind of going for a walk with somebody doing that? Leaving our commitments and our responsibilities.
Yeah, that's it.
If we just put all that down for a couple of hours, and this year I'm really keen because, I've travelled the whole world in my time in the Navy. I've been in the Caribbean, the Far East, Middle East, Africa, everywhere. And it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago that I'd never been to Lake District.
Seriously? Just on your doorstep? Right.
That's criminal, that, isn't it?
It's pretty good.
One of the most beautiful places on the planet, and I've never been. So now it's actually my aim this year to really kind of embrace what's on my doorstep.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, I'm wanting to take a group of families out in the Cozy Arch just to help families actually reconnect with their kids and actually families connect with each other.
Yeah.
Because it raising a family is bloody difficult. But if we manage to switch off or let go of the life we kind of lead through the week and maybe just have a bit of time where we can actually be there for our kids, be there for each other, meet and connect with other families.
That's great, man.
And again, it comes down to that word connect.
Yeah, that's it.
And if we manage to do all that, then you'll actually find that you actually connect with yourself. You're living a more fulfilled life.
Yeah. This is more dialed back, isn't it? It's much more like, you're not thinking about work, you're not thinking about like anything, you're just thinking like, oh, listen, that stream down there, or like, oh, wow, look at the sunbeams going through the leaves or something,
And everybody kind of, I remember a debate I had with my mother-in-law.
One of many.
You'll know my mother-in-law might come at these podcasts a fair bit. But I had a debate with her years ago when she was still working for Asda. She worked in the photo shop there. And she was having a lot of jip around knee. And she was saying, oh, I'm really struggling. She had to have a knee replacement and whatnot. And she was worrying about taking time off. And I said, take time off, take as much time off as you can because you're just a number to them. Oh, no, Asda really care about their employees. They're absolutely fantastic. They look after me. Turned out she had a lot of grief with them when she had to take time off because she had to have her knee done. Nice. So now she's actually learnt that, well, actually the organisation, you are just a payroll number. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, because work is vital. Work is such an important part of our kind of makeup. We have to work because that gives us a kind of purpose.
Yeah, of course.
If people find themselves out of work, they really struggle psychologically. But it's to get that balance, to be able to say, right, well, I've clocked off. Yeah, I'm going to leave work.
That's it.
I mean, it's very difficult for the people who are self-employed, which I've really found since I've become self-employed. You really struggle to, when you switch off at the end of the day, to walk away from work.
That's it. Do you find it harder to have that work-life balance now?
Extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
When I was first setting up, I was thinking, oh, yeah, well, I might just do a 4-day week. That would be nice.
Your own boss.
Yeah. I might take every Monday off. When everybody else is going to work on a Monday, I'll just kind of sit there in my kind of PJs with a cup of coffee.
How did that last for?
Yeah, check out Piers Morgan on the goggle box. I must be doing about 6 days a week now.
God.
But even now, I'm confronted with the challenge of balancing my life.
Mm-hmm.
Even just yesterday, I was getting grief off the missus.
Yeah,
but it's everybody's got their own life balance to sort out.
Well, that's the thing. I think everyone's got a different bandwidth of how they want to fill the limited sort of waking life. Do you know what I mean? Some people enjoy work.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm again sort of like yourself in that I love my job and I love kind of what I do, to the point where I'm probably too much of a workaholic.
Yeah.
Again, my missus hates it. She wished I was like a little bit more sort of like able to switch off.
Yeah.
But I think when you enjoy what you do and you're so fulfilled in that, then I think it is harder to switch off, and it is harder to sort of think, actually, because you can't really like just relax and think like, oh, well, I could be doing something like productive.
Yeah. And that's a really key thing. So when you really love your work, that gives you purpose.
Yes,
and I often see it to people, purpose and meaning are very much different things. When we think of work, we go to work because that provides a purpose. We feel like we've got a purpose. We're paying the bills. We've got a level of living. Now, that purpose actually feeds our life meaning. You see, I want to go out and this year and do a few trips to the lakes. I'll not be able to do that if I don't have an income from work.
Yeah.
I want to make a difference to the people of Sunderland. So that's a big meaning for me.
Excellent.
But I'll not be able to do that unless I've got a purpose, i.e. work. So work gives us it's a hugely important part of our development and our fulfillment. But it is extremely hard when you don't have a kind of enjoyment for your work. That's when you really start to struggle.
That's it.
But like yourself, though, if you really enjoy your work, then life becomes easier.
That's it.
That life becomes more flowing. It's not a chore. We're not fighting anything. We're not pushing against anything.
Yeah, you're not going upstream or anything like that. Yeah.
We're just going with it.
Excellent.
So with the idea of physical fitness, how do you feel it kind of is intertwined with our mental health?
Well, funny enough, it's actually a nice transition from that. I think it does give you purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know about meaning so much, but it definitely gives you I think end of the day, again, we're going with the existential sort of thing. I think end of the day, your body and your mind, it's really all there is, isn't there? You experience life through this kind of vessel, if you like, this body. And I think a lot of people have this self-defeating thing of well, I'm going to be dead anyway. It doesn't matter. I'll just continue with the beer and I'll just continue with the microwave dinners, But I think with this body, that's all you've got. Yeah. So if you don't treat it with the utmost care, some people care about the cars more than them. They'll drive out the way to go to the BP garage or whatever. Yeah. I don't drive. I don't know if that's a real thing. But they'll go all the way for the best fuel. When it comes to themselves, they're like, microwave chips, 3rd time a day, whatever, But they don't think about putting the best fuel in their body or give themselves the regime that they want to have, And I think a lot of people do struggle with that. It's almost like a project, instead of maybe writing a novel or making music or something. I think just having that 4 days a week exercise regime, I think it does definitely give you some sense of purpose. And again, with you watching, it depends on your goal, but maybe if you can get to 5K faster than you did last week, that's progress. If you can lift more weights this week than you did last week, that's more progress. Yeah. And I think seeing that progress, it's not only good for your self-esteem, it also makes you feel like you're making progress through this kind of project that you're doing, Just like you would get better at a guitar, or you find better words to put in your book. And I think, again, it does give you that sort of like even base level of just like endorphins.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people miss that. You know, they don't enjoy the gym, but they haven't tried it enough to even give it a go.
Yeah.
You know?
But I love that analogy you use of the car. You know, you put decent fuel in your car. You know, we should be kind of putting decent fuel in ourselves.
That's it, you know. If you think of yourself as a car, you want to put the best stuff in. You know, you want to be taking the vitamins. You want to be having the best possible food. You want to be giving the best stuff, because at the end of the day, your body's the car that gets you through, you know, this journey of life, really. And I think, again, if you're not taking care of it, it's going to start experiencing like breakdowns. You're going to have to get it MOT, and, you know. Yeah.
And then I come back just as you were talking there. I had it in me mind, you know, leaving the gym on a morning. And like I say, I'm terrible on a morning.
That's it.
But leaving the gym, like you say, I feel alive.
So you're like two different people.
Yeah.
Almost.
Completely. And that sets us up for the day. Yeah, come about sort of 4 o'clock. I might start flagging a bit.
Yeah.
But you do feel alive.
Yeah.
And I love the idea about, you know, the balance. Yeah, we've got to look after what we're putting into our body. We've got to exercise our body. And if we look after our mental health as well, then the whole package is coming together.
Yeah, that's it.
And if any of them are kind of disjointed, you know, that's when you get like kinks in the journey.
That's it. Yeah.
Same with sleep. You know, people underestimate the 100%. Kind of the power of sleep.
I prioritize sleep.
Yeah.
My friends call me boring because I'm in bed by 10.
Yeah.
If I don't get that, I'm not going to be functional the next morning, you know.
But when you say about my miss, she goes to bed usually about 10. And that's kind of my time for the day.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm like, oh yeah, it's nice and peaceful. Oh yeah, there's no more.
Best idea.
Yeah, there's no more talking. It's just,
yeah, that's it.
But then she jumps out of bed at sort of 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Painful.
No, well, later that. I think I'm starting to get older. I'm starting to appreciate just like silence. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm an extroverted introvert or the other way, but like after the day, just.
But I think everybody needs it. You know, and I mentioned it when I was talking to Ashton last week. It's that kind of, our focus is on connecting. And I think we're all craving to do more connecting, but at the same time, we also need to disconnect at times.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it's harder for some people because I think, like, again, with the social media side of things, like it's easier to send like just texts like, "Are you free Saturday?" or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like sort of maybe the deeper conversations of like, "Oh mate, you've been a bit down this week. Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?" That's a lot less there, you know. And I think it's harder to express over like text.
Absolutely.
Or Skype.
But it becomes difficult as well, even on messages. I mean, I've got a mate, he's a fundraiser for St. Benedict's, and he messaged us at the beginning of the week just gone, and I quickly checked it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get back on it because I was busy working. And it wasn't until days later that I was flicking through my messages, and I was like, oh, shit.
You feel bad, don't you?
Yeah, and now I'm like, oh, bloody hell. Really, what I should have done is actually picked up the phone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully we'll go and have a good catch up soon. You know, we'll go out for a beer or something.
Yeah,
but
ideal.
It's so easy to get lost within the day that you actually kind of lose track of people. And yeah, but the idea as well of just at the end of the day having that little switch off. It's like,
it's great.
So like one of my dreams for many a year now is to have a decking in the garden. You know, and it sounds such a crazy little idea, but I have decking. So come the summer, if I have a day off, I can just go out there with nothing on my feet. Yeah. Because what I always know when I'm having a day off is because it's a no sock day.
Yeah, they're the best days.
If I've got no socks on, day off.
You've unleashed your inner hippie.
Yeah. So to walk out on the decking and sit on the swing and just cup of coffee, but you need that disconnected time. It's just
again, that's kind of going back with nature.
Yeah.
You're outside.
Absolutely.
You're feeling the grass on your feet.
Yeah. Absolutely. I cannot wait to do all that this year. Hopefully you're going to be on board and do a few bits and bobs with us.
Maybe.
Yeah? Because I know when we did the Newcastle Stampede last year, you were gutted to miss on that one, weren't you?
I was working, unfortunately.
Working.
Block. That's what I tell you anyway.
No, but I really want to thank you for coming in today.
Anytime.
And doing this podcast with us, and especially sharing, you know, the stuff that you've shared. And I always say to people in my profession, the greatest privilege that we have is for people to share their life. Because life it's difficult and it's scary. Yeah. And for somebody to actually share that with us, it's kind of real privilege.
Well, I think if you don't share it, then no one else is going to get better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People who suffer in silence.
Yeah.
Or someone who might be experiencing maybe like the first signs, that says my anorexia, like it probably started with me thinking like, I don't need that yogurt or something.
Yeah.
And again, if someone has that initial like body dysmorphia, even if one person kind of relates to that and starts to think, actually, you know what, there might be something darker going on there. If that takes on one light bulb, that's great.
Yeah.
And I've done my part,
Excellent. I guess that's all. Especially, I mean, that's the way I go into my practice as well. Yeah. If I can help one person.
That's great. That's
and I often use it kind of, see if I help one person with agoraphobia, that they can't leave the house. See if I help that person and then they go on to leave the house and go to a pub and meet a girl. I've been a part of that.
Yeah, that's it.
I've done my bit for that. And see they get married. I've been a part of that. And see then they have a child. I've been a part of that.
Just making somebody's life more, tolerable or better.
And then can you imagine if that child goes on and finds a cure for cancer?
That's it.
So the whole world can change by helping one person.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's why I really love what you're doing at the gym, because you really connect with each individual as that individual. And that's special.
I think everybody's got their own individual story and journey. And you'll find that yourself, every new client or person that you speak to, you'll know that everyone's got their own problems, their own dreams, their own ambitions. And I can't think of anything more fascinating. Because I think as humans, we're all like, not selfish, but we're all quite like, like introverted or quite like thinking about ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
Then you think of other people and they've got their own stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think just recognizing that and thinking that every single person's got something different or a story
fascinating,
to tell.
Isn't it?
Yeah, endlessly fascinating. And I think, again, just speaking to these people and just hearing what they've got to say, it's hard not to.
Yeah. So basically by connecting with another individual.
That's it. And that's exactly what we're saying. Not many people are able to do that now, or they struggle a bit more with that.
Exactly.
So,
no, but thank you very, very much for coming on.
It's been great.
And I look forward to any work that we're going to be doing in the future.
Like that.
I might get a fitness program off you.
Mate.
Really get us into shape. No, but thank you very much for your time and good luck.
Thank you for having me back. Boom.